Baby is up and with mom, and you can see relatively young one. Maybe gonna try have a drink of milk there. Alright, so as we arrived, I was just letting Greg pull out. She got up and walked down to the riverbed. So we're going to go into the riverbed on the river road. Giraffe.
So my mission, I think best bet is to go down the Australian side and I'll keep her here for you.
Zebras and giraffes. It's actually been a general game filled morning. You haven't seen the half of what I've been seeing. But Greg's just saying, yeah, river road is the best approach. So let's go. So, we have our gorgeous Tumbela just here on the banks of the Shalumi, possibly watching an impala herd on the other side, using the dappled light of the thickets here to conceal herself, but that tail almost has a life of its own. Let's see if we can get a view of those glorious eyes of hers. So yeah, some in the words of Greg, whose road this is, some leopard glory. It was what was hoped would be found once this river road was established. This is the third time now in about 2 weeks that Tumbela has been here, which is unusual for her. As I said, this is traditionally not part of her territory. Look at those. Now, her territory is normally way in our eastern section along the Mashatan River. But she's, I don't know whether it's a search for male or there's been pressure from other leopards that has pushed her here. But it does seem as though this might be her new home. There were tracks for female leopard at Mashatan Dam yesterday and in the Mashatan the day before. So, yeah, could be maybe just competition. But yeah, the way she was calling, and we've heard her calling a couple of times this week. Last time we found Nyaleti near our camp. Could hear Tumbela calling to the south. During lockdown she was drinking at our camp waterhole, so definitely making a lot more use of this western side of her territory than before. But waiting patiently. There's some impalas up ahead that I think she's trying to monitor. I'm sure they're going to go towards Padapan for a drink, and that's what she's waiting for. The only previous sighting of her was near Mashatan Dam. And it was after dark, so I didn't really get to appreciate the beauty of this cat. And what makes her stand out and separates her from most of those very pale eyes that we can see. As a youngster, she had grey touching on blue eyes. As she's got older, that blue core has faded away. But this grey colour is something that's very prevalent in her lineage, from her grandmother to her mother. And then to offspring that she's had, and I guess half brothers and half sisters that her mom had. The blue came out quite prevalently. There's actually a relatively wide variety of leopard eye colours. The standard colour is that golden, beautiful golden colour that we're so used to seeing. But yeah, it's old blue eyes, the blue-eyed girl, as many people will remember her for. You can see an incredibly relaxed cat. We're maybe 8 meters away from her here. She's just over 10 years old. And from a very young age, she was exposed to the vehicles. Probably one of the most relaxed cubs straight out of mom that has been found in the reserve in my time, and yeah, just completely oblivious to us. And even though we can go for sometimes literally months between sightings of her, she never loses her tolerance and acceptance of these vehicles in her life. So if we can keep on hearing her from camp and seeing her around camp, hopefully we'll get more and more sightings like this over the coming months. She just needs more cubs. Even in riverbeds, I like using these tracks. I guess one benefit is that if she does see anything, she can drop right down in that track and be almost level with the sand. I'm going to go lie in that shade because it is warm. It's 9:30 now, but it's getting very, very warm. Nope, she's not lying down. The bank here, and just in this area there's some impalas milling around. I think there's some zebras. Sounds like a wildebeest too, maybe. But yeah, she's in these thickets. She knows that the herd is there, so she's gonna try and use the cover to get closer. Just pulled a little bit away, give her space, but more to give me some shade. Otherwise the pink prawn will be out in full force later. Now Tumbela, her name, means hide. Now, very good at hiding when it comes time to do it, such as hunting, but it actually originated from her habit when she was a youngster of sleeping in one of the game viewing hides in the heart of her mom's territory. She used to sit sometimes in the hide, other times just on the stairs, kind of wait for game to come to the water hole the same way humans would. Except the difference is we would sit and view them with the binoculars. She would go and try and catch them. So that's where her name Tumbela comes from. So let's see her moving in this area from my shady spot. The impalas are still up on the ridge there. The water is behind us. So they may decide that they want to come through for water. And that's a slightly perilous journey because they do have to go through the thickets here. Maybe that's what she's counting on. We've left Tumbela. Couldn't see her. Just going to give her some time and space to possibly hunt. Going to just go check one or two of the nearby water holes, and then I think slowly make our way home. It is rather warm now at 10:15. Precursor to what's going to be pretty miserable weather tomorrow, so I guess you should take it while it's here. Despite the heat, maybe because of the heat, the late morning foray to the water holes continues. Some zebras and our elephants that I promised we would eventually see. Patiently and cautiously approaching the water. I think he's a boy. And he's leaving the water. They may opt to go to put a pan. It does seem as though the bulls are commandeering the water inflow pipe, and that is not suiting the ladies and calves. As we mentioned before, very fussy when it comes to water and wanting to have the cleanest, freshest one, so they go to the pipes where these pans are, or the occasional pan is pumped in. Oh, sorry. And off he goes. Probably some boisterous young stallions, possibly just dominant stallions chasing off some younger ones. This is based on the size, more than one group. And although they do often move around in these big groups, it's always made up of, as we've said before, those smaller units led by one stallion and his collection of mares and their offspring. Oh, this flatulence always amazes me and amuses me. Something that, no matter how old I get, I always laugh at. A lot of excitement there. Crossing over the Sharulumi now, in the direction of Padapan, so we'll maybe just stick with the group for a little bit. Always magical scenes to get these animals in these riverbeds. Let's say with winter coming now, well, winter past, but the dry spring coming up. It's not as cold down in the riverbeds at night. Only greenery is around these riverbeds, so we should actually find the animals utilizing them more and more. You know, sitting in the sun now might actually just be these shady banks that these elephants are more interested in than the immediate desire for water. There's found these shady large bobines and kind of stopped to rest here. There we go, I'm back again, hello. It's so hot outside, my phone actually shut itself down with the heat. Good indication of how hot things are getting now. And this is a time of year when these water holes that we do have just start drying up. You can see it day by day. I mean, we're 31 degrees centigrade in the shade today, but it's a great deal warmer in the sun. The elephants didn't really splash around at Marco's Dam, so I'm sure they're going to go and splash around in the mud of Padapan. But it's been a fantastic morning. I think I should probably start heading home, otherwise this is not all going to fit into one episode. If you wanted to know how you can make elephants look bigger, use the ground level with them looking up. Young male, late teens, towering above me, towering above the other elephants, which also says something. Commonly featured bird, although we normally see them on animals not drinking water, some red-billed oxpeckers. A day that definitely calls for some extra cooling down. One of those real sensory experiences, not just the sight of them being here, but the sound as that mud is slashing against their bodies, as well as the smell. This mud is not the most pleasant smelling substance. It's now being loosened up and tossed all over the show, and getting good whiffs of it here. And as the light breeze blows, which will help enhance the cooling effect of the mud on the skin as the wind blows. What a great scene. There's now a whole bunch of kudu and zebra also coming through the background there on the right hand side. Little one doesn't know if he wants to be in the mud or drink milk. You should see some good imitation going on there, watching what Mom does and trying to replicate it himself. Although he's pretty covered in mud, that's not from his own doing. Using all parts of their body to try and soak the skin as much as they can with the mud. Kicking, tossing with the trunk. Some of them may even decide to get in shortly. How much fun these guys have. Almost no other animal, maybe lion cubs and wild dog pups, seem to show proper signs of joy when they're playing around. Watching any elephants in these water holes just looks like the most fun, joyous experience you can imagine. And in the heat again, I sound like a broken down record, but I can understand why they're enjoying it. Well, much easier getting down than getting up. Little guy trying to scratch his butt on the tree. So there we go. That was well worth pursuing them for. And there's still one more water hole on the way home, so let's carry on. Add a little bit more to the diversity. Another group of wildebeest gathered under a very small amount of shade. They're not far from Impala dams. I'm sure that's where they're coming for a drink. This is why Chad doesn't see things when he doesn't have a tracker, because earlier today, while trying to go and help Scott, I drove right underneath a kill hanging in a tree from a leopard. Jack and Ginger came out to help look for animals, found this. No sign of her at the moment, but let's see if she's around. Unfortunately, our second leopard for the drive is not showing herself. Kill safely hoisted, water close by, but with this heat I'm sure, and quite a fat belly, just resting in the shade. So we're going to start making our way back campwood now. Let's see if there's any last surprises for us. Alright folks, we're back at camp, and that was a wonderful couple of drives. I'm sure this is going to be a jam-packed episode, so I trust you've enjoyed. Special double drive on this solo surf safari. Lions, elephants all played along in celebration of their respective days this past week, and some leopard to finish things off nicely. So till next time folks, take care, stay safe, and we will catch up very, very soon. Cheers.